Well, it looks like we're live, and hello, everybody, and happy Friday to you. Slim Overton here, coming to you from the Slim Nation, and also coming to you from my pocket studio, which I call it Pocket Studio. First thing we want to know if we are hearing, and I think you can hear me. But welcome everybody, and of course, here we are again. Coming to you, try to come to you every day with something. Of course, along with coming to you every day with something, I will have my interviews with my guests on the Slim Nation One-on-Ones podcast. So we're going to continue to do that. And I do those live so you can participate by making your comments and asking questions and saying hello to the guests. But anyway, I wanted to come here this morning and briefly talk about, the astronauts that went up to, well, I call them, well, I just call them astronauts, but that's the issue I have. The ladies that went up into space for about 10 minutes and came back down and hit the ground. Um with Jeff Bezos, the Amazon guy, all these private people doing these space launches and everything. But my issue with that, and I commend the ladies that went on the trip, brave for them to do that. Anything could have happened, anything could have capped off and happened to those ladies. So kudos to them who did that, and making, I guess it was history, I don't know. But anyway, but to for them to come back down and the press and people calling them astronauts, I have a little issue with that. And this is a personal thing with me, knowing or pres- pres- presuming what I know what it takes to become an astronaut, and many, the training and all the years that you have to put in and be dedicated to become an astronaut. And many times astronauts are labeled. Where they are after the training and everything, and they are called astronauts. And many of them never get to go up in space. It's many astronauts out there, and I've met a few, and some of them hadn't had a chance to really go into space, out into the orbit like these ladies did. And but to have a few days of training, and you go up there and be for 10 minutes or however long it was no longer than 10 minutes. The whole thing, I guess, took that long. Took longer for them to come out the capsule. But I think it did them a misjustice, calling them astronauts. Um, just because they went up in space like that, and the years it takes for real astronauts, certified astronauts, people who have completed the rigorous programs that it takes to be called an astronaut, to be put in that same category is I don't think it's fair. And I hope that they refrain from calling these ladies astronauts, and I hope they don't go down uh, in NASA as astronauts, with that label behind their name. How do you feel about that? It just bothered me that they were called astronauts, and maybe it was just, just just using that term loosely, because they had gone up in space, and I don't think that's the definition of an astronaut, just because you went up in space or went uh, went into the space atmosphere. I forgot I don't know what they call it, but anyway, it's a certain amount of miles you go up in the air where it's considered space. Where you get to the point where you lose your weight. I mean, you're in a weightless situation. So that's my thing about that. God, calling those ladies astronauts, I think that wasn't fair to the people who have put in the work. But that was my take on that. But yeah, it's a nice Friday. Looks like we're gonna have a nice weekend here, and so I'm going to always be pushing to encourage you to watch the Slim Nations 101s podcast on the YouTube channel, or you can watch it on Facebook when we go live. Or on the YouTube channel, it stays there forever. Facebook is on there for a limited amount of time, which I'm reminded by Facebook all the time. You have a few days before this video that I did live, that's a recording now on Facebook, will be deleted forever. So that's no problem with me, long as we have it up there on my YouTube channel, which is going to be there, and you can always search it and go on my YouTube channel and find any of my videos that I've had with people in the 101s, Slim Nation 101s, and the stars of the videos are my guests, definitely my guests that come up there with the knowledge. Some of them share personal stories. So it's very interesting, some of the conversations we have with the guests and some of the things that they talk about that they didn't think that they could talk about in public. But, afterwards it became sort of therapeutic for them to even talk about it and maybe help someone along the way. So please continue to watch or stay tuned or look for the videos we put out. Like I said, my presence on YouTube is going to be more, so people can be reminded for the videos that I will show. Some I will upload. Many I will do live. The conversations I will have with guests will be live. I just like to do the live thing, and whatever happens, happens. And you can participate in real time with that person, so they can see your comments and respond to them during our conversation and whatever we're discussing. So just stay tuned. And like I said, I'm gonna be on here. I'm gonna try to come on just about every morning. I might not make it. Some mornings might have a doctor's appointment, might have something to do. Well, I'm gonna try to be up here to talk about something every day, so I can establish myself here on my YouTube channel, so people can look forward to it. I'm not going to talk all the time. Well, sometimes I get carried away, but I'm not going to talk all the time. Just to come up, just to remind you that the Slim Nation 101s podcast is here, and probably remind you of upcoming videos. I'm working on some right now. We had quite a few in the last few weeks with different guests. Please go back and watch some of those. And while you're at it, it's so important to like those videos. A lot of people concentrate on subscribing, and that's fine, but you can't subscribe every time. I don't think you do that once and then you're subscribed, but you can like each video you watch, and as many times as you watch it, I guess you can like it. So those likes really help me in the YouTube world, as well as the subscriptions. So I've been following tutorial videos on YouTube and how to navigate this platform and to better serve my channel, and more so that my guests can get the maximum exposure that they should be getting for coming on the show. So please, follow me. I'll try to make it interesting. I'll try to put out enough content in different areas where it'll be something that maybe you will relate to, either personally or someone that has been in, for example, in an abusive relationship for a long time. That was one of my conversations I had with a guest, and I'll mention her name, Shona Choke Swinson. And as I shared in one of my previous videos, or one I did yesterday, we are working on a Slim and Shona. Our Take on It is the name of the show, and where we come on and just talk about issues of today, not so much political, not the hot topics. Might come in sometime. I'll leave the hot topics and the issues of the day, political things, to the other channel I'm on, the Portsmouth Coffee Talk on YouTube. Check that out too, the Portsmouth Coffee Talk podcast. So Shona and I are going to do a little. We're going to team up and have a show and see how it works out. And we have one in the can. I just use that because they don't use that on social media. Can, that means it was filmed from a long time ago when they filmed everything in the can. The film would be in the can. But no, we have one video up there where it's sort of like a trial thing that we did together, and it's quite. It was fun to do. It was fun to do. We talked about a variety of things, and if we can continue in that vein, I think we're going to do all right. We're going to do all right. We're going to have something that's going to be entertaining for you. We will look for your suggestions of what topics we can cover, situations you've been in. You can text us or email us and tell us about situations you'll be in, and we'll talk about it on the show. Funny situations you have found yourself in, or embarrassing situations you have found yourself in that you've gotten over the embarrassment, and it turned into be something funny. So thanks everybody for watching, that have been watching, and continue to tell a friend or tell someone about it, and enjoy everything that's on YouTube right now, on social media. People say it's a crowded field, and it is. It's a lot of things. You could be up all night trying to watch some of the things that are being shown on the YouTube channel. It's just so much content out there. We just want a small part of your attention. While you're scrolling around and looking at other things, just stop by the SlimNation every once in a while, or as often. We want you to stop by often, but when you're on YouTube, stop by the SlimNation and see what's going on in our country. Let me get a little octane here. One time I thought about doing those reaction videos, and I like to watch them. I've been watching them for a while, especially watching younger people in younger generation, people watching the music that I grew up on in the late 60s and 70s, and the 80s too. But the way when I was developing into really liking music, it was the 60s and the 70s. And some of those songs and videos that were out then are timeless. And I just get a kick out of watching younger people watch the Temptations, or watch the Delphonics, or the Dells, Gladys Knight, Marvin Gaye, and other groups that were back then. The groups that were in the 70s, like Earth, Wind and Fire, Mandrill, and the OJs, and how they appreciate the music. It was a lot of groups that talked about love and relationships, and some of the men groups really talked about how they appreciated the women in their lives, and how they might have messed up and lost someone that they shouldn't have lost. I mean, great stories for those ballads or slower songs. And the funk era came around in the 70s and late 60s. James Brown kind of introduced the funk era, Then everything got funky. Even had a group called Funkadelic and Confunction. So, those music. So I thought about doing a reaction video, and just doing reactions, of some of those uh, videos and music from back in the day, where I could really talk about where I was when those songs was out, or what I was doing, or give doing the videos, give some real history about it. And because sometimes I watch the videos, and they be trying to figure out uh, who's the lead singer, what's his name, and and they might pull up and read something about it. But sometimes I wish I was in the room so I could sort of give them, some of the information and let them know, okay, they were brothers, they were twins, especially with the whispers. Sometimes I saw one reaction, they were looking at the whispers and they thought, the way the camera angles were, they thought it was just one lead singer, and didn't realize that it was twins up there singing the lead. But the camera never showed both of them at the same time. And they were saying, "Oh, that guy can really sing." I said, "Hey, they're twins. There's two guys singing." Uh, but it was hard to tell the difference between them at the time, because they were, twins are twins. Twins look just alike, and these guys were like that. But the music they put out, and the backup singers, the moves, all the groups back then had to have those moves, and you can imagine how much practice and rehearsal it took to be in sync like they were. But when I started looking into being a reactor, because I probably would transition after watching videos like a lot of reactors do. They transition to other things, watching comics and things like that, and even watching them watch comics from back in the day, like Richard Pryor and some of the older comics. That was interesting just to watch their reactions to things that happened before they were even born, and how they appreciate the music. And some of them say the music is not the same today. There's some excellent music being put out today, but that those 70s and 60s, and even you go back to the 50s, timeless music that you can play today and really enjoy, especially with some of the messages that they had in their music. The songwriting was phenomenal. So, but it turned out it was a lot to do that. You had to do a lot of editing, which took a lot of time, and you tried to put out 2 or 3 videos a day, and they didn't do them live, and didn't make sense to do them live, because the editing part for those reaction videos was a big part of the success of it, because coming back and putting uh, adding certain things to the video really helped, and made it more entertaining. So, and then cutting out some of the boo-boos that you might have had, so um, it would have been a lot for me to do that, and trying to put that together, and the kind of setups you had to have in order to do that. It would take more, with me, at least with me, take more than myself to be able to do that, and to continue to do everything else. So I decided, let me just concentrate on what I'm doing now with the platforms I have now, with the Slim Nation 101s podcast, and of the a part of uh, the phone is ringing, but I'll get that. I see who it is. I'll call him back. Call him back when I finish this. But and the Portsmouth Coffee Talk, which I'm a part of a team with Leah Drake Stiff and Thomas the Colonel Chapman. So that's enough to keep me busy. But as far as the Slim Nation 101, like I've been saying, we're going to expand. I want to be able to show a little bit more on that channel, other than just my conversations with people. Want to give other people a chance, and maybe they can start there and then branch out and do their own podcast. But it'll give people a chance to try it out, if they want to do it, and just do it under the Slim Nation. And then if they enjoy doing it and want to continue, they can move on and open up their own channel, and then continue on from there. Because sometimes it takes a little while to put together a channel, to properly and catch up on all the different community rules that YouTube has and Facebook has. Uh, but one of the best bets is to go with the YouTube, and then some people go strictly with TikTok or Instagram, which is Instagram is part of Facebook, but that might not be for long because they're in court trying to break that up. Facebook has WhatsApp and they have Instagram under the Meta, which is the real Facebook. It's called Meta, but they keep the Facebook name because it's been there so long. But everything is under uh, the company. I guess it's a company or platform of Meta. And so you have Meta, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and the owner of Facebook is in court now. Uh, I guess they're saying it's a monopoly. I didn't know they went after people because it's a lot of monopolies around here. But evidently they trying to break it up. So I have to check the news and see where we are there. Maybe I can give you an update. Maybe you know already. You can tell me what's going on with that situation. It'd probably be nice if they broke that up, so you can, you know, so if you're going to deal with Facebook, you deal with Facebook. If you want to deal with Instagram, you're dealing with Instagram. If you want to deal with WhatsApp, you're dealing with WhatsApp. You're not, you might just want to deal with one of them and not the other. But the way it is now, if you're dealing with either one of those three uh, uh, social media platforms, it's under the umbrella of, well, yeah, I mean, that's the same thing I'm talking about doing. Wow. Well, but anyway, mine's is to is a little different. It's in order to launch others into their own thing, to help other people. And why I'm helping other people that might want to launch uh, a social media show, uh, I'm still learning how to do it, and it just gives me an opportunity to work with them and learn and help them. And it's no reason why somebody can't just jump out there and do it yourself. It's not hard to set up a YouTube channel. You just have to make sure you put it together in the right way so you can get the maximum uh, returns on it. Uh, so, and I'm still working on that, trying to build the SlimNation to a point where, and sometimes I'm watching videos trying to figure out, okay, what am I not doing wrong? Why am I not getting the views that I think I should be getting? Or it might be because I'm local. It might be because of my content. It might be because other things that I'm not doing that I plan on including. All the suggestions that they're giving me now, and I've been hearing them, but I haven't had time to just include this. A lot of things you have to kind of include within your channel to make it more accessible to people outside of people that you actually know. You want to create something that somebody in Washington State, and I live in Virginia, might be interested in watching. Somebody in Australia might be interested in watching, because this YouTube thing, social media thing, goes all over the world, and uh, so we're still working on that. So I'm gonna cut it off now. It's been about almost 25 minutes, and I said I was gonna do maybe about 15, and that's what I was gonna do, about 15 every time I come on by myself to talk about something. And I just wanted to bring up that thing about the astronaut thing. So if you get a chance and you see this, give me some comments about how you feel about that astronaut thing. And because, well, it's news today, and it's probably already out of the news cycle. But it's going to be talked about for a while in certain platforms or certain people as those ladies start to appear on different shows and things and talk about their experience. Coming down and kissing the ground. Um, I I can tell you about a story. I kind of felt a connection with I think it was Katy Perry that when she landed, she came out and kissed the ground, kissed Earth because she was out of this world. And I had an experience where I was working two co-workers and I was working at Nordstrom, and they had a it was a program they wanted the employees to go to, so we could only go at like two or three at a time. So three of us got together, and we're going to ride from Virginia, the Hampton Roads area, which is Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, uh, to D.C. to where the program was being held. So one of our coworkers decided to volunteer to drive. So we said, okay, fine, we'll ride with you. We'll share the gas and everything. It was something we just go up there for the day and go to the conference or whatever, and then come back that same day. So when we met at work, and we get there, it just so happened it was raining cats and dogs, raining buckets. It was raining hard. And I said, oh, Lord, here we go. We got to travel in this. But felt comfortable as long as we just took our time and was safe. We get in the car. The driver decides to drive like it's dry outside. It's raining hard where you could hardly see through the windshield at you. He was driving like it was a sunny day. And the other co-worker was in the back seat and I was in the front. We were going crazy. It was the scariest ride I've ever had. Several times I wanted to just tell them to pull over and let me out and I catch the bus back home. But we made it. We drove out of the rain. The rain was just basically local. So we on the interstate and we got out of the rain. But it was still a scary drive, even with the sun shining, in and out of traffic. And he was originally from New York, so he drove like a New Yorker. And New Yorkers, and I don't mean to harm, but you all think that you all are the best drivers. And you might be pretty skilled because of what you have to drive in and maneuver in and out of traffic. But it's not necessary here in Virginia. But anyway, so we went to the conference and then sitting there thinking, man, we got to go back. We got to drive back. We came back, we finished the conference, and coming back, it was the same way. The scariest ride, and especially me being in the front seat. Co-worker in the back several times just laid down on the seat so she couldn't see. When we got back to Norfolk, Virginia, which is where the Nordstrom was, I kissed the ground. I kissed the ground and thank God for us making that trip. And it wasn't in space. This is like going uh, a 4 hour, how long? About 4 hour drive, and from Virginia, Portsmouth, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia to D.C., Washington, D.C. So I understood how she felt when she got out of that capsule after going up in space and coming back home safely and kissing the ground. Especially when they were saying that the capsule was going to land softly in the desert. That thing hit the ground like it just fell out the sky with no parachutes. I mean, it hit that ground. I know those ladies felt that. And hopefully somebody will be honest enough to say that thing hit the ground and shook them up. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you next time here on the Slim Nation. Take care. And remember, be aware, be informed, and most of all, be involved. Take care.